When you picture the Sahara, you see an endless, unforgiving sea of sand, the very symbol of a lifeless wasteland. For all of human history, we have looked to the horizon for constants, but the Sahara holds a secret. Because this desert is a lie. What if I told you that hidden just beneath your feet was the ghost of a lost green paradise? Deep within this emptiness, ancient artists left us the first clue. These are not paintings of camels or sand. They are scenes of life, of people swimming in deep, cool water. They painted a world teeming with giraffes, elephants, and crocodiles. The question is simple. Why would they paint a world that didn't exist? And then we found an even more impossible clue. Whale skeletons. Not by the sea, but here, hundreds of miles from any ocean. This place is called Wadi Al-Hitan, the Valley of the Whales, fossils of ancient crocodiles, pollen from long-vanished trees, each one a single, undeniable truth. This desert was once a world of water. For thousands of years, the Sahara wasn't a desert at all. It was a vibrant savanna. So what happened? The answer is written in the stars. Our planet doesn't just spin, it wobbles. A slight slow tilt in its axis that shifts the great weather patterns of the world. For millennia, this wobble pushed the African monsoons north, carrying with them the gift of water. The desert began to breathe. Rivers the size of the Nile carved their way across the land. Vast megalakes formed. One, in modern-day Chad, was once larger than all of North America's Great Lakes combined. This was the Green Sahara, a paradise that became the cradle for a forgotten chapter of human history. Advanced societies flourished here, hunting and fishing in a world we can no longer see. But the Earth's orbit is a clock that never stops ticking. Around 6,000 years ago, the planet tilted back. The monsoons retreated, and the Green Sahara began to starve once again. The change was terrifyingly fast. What took millennia to build was undone in perhaps only a few centuries. Paradise vanished, replaced by the hyper-arid desert we know today. So where did the people go? The answer to that question may change how you see the ancient world forever. As the rivers and lakes turned to dust, entire civilizations were forced to migrate. They desperately sought the last remaining source of reliable water. They converged here, on the banks of the Nile. And it is at this exact moment in history that pharaonic civilization explodes into existence. The monumental pyramids, the complex society, the divine kings, all appearing with breathtaking speed. It's one of history's greatest enigmas. But many now believe this was no coincidence, that the sudden birth of ancient Egypt was fueled by the death of the Green Sahara. The refugees of a climate catastrophe became the architects of one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. From a green paradise to a sea of sand, a forgotten world that gave birth to an empire. This is the Sahara's legacy. But it is also a warning. The Sahara's collapse was a natural event. It shows us how violently and how quickly a climate can change, how fragile any paradise truly is. Today, as our own climate shifts at a speed far greater than nature's, the Sahara's ghost asks us a simple, urgent question. What will we do when our green world begins to dry?